Hello, everyone. Welcome into Unspoken Real Talk, where men come in to talk about mental health and wellness. I have my partner in crime off of the TikTok, Mr. Pooh. Welcome
Hey,
in, friend.
how are you?
Cranky.
Of course. I wouldn't expect nothing less.
So, tell the viewers about yourself.
Okay, so where you want to start from?
Whatever
I,
you
I,
want them to know.
well, currently I am the host of my own radio show called Recession Proof. Uh, the show is about music being just available and free during the times that we're living in. It was a kickback from when I was actually on the radio in El Paso, Texas in 2008, 2009 when Obama just got in office and Bush was getting out and the economy was jacked and I thought the name recession proof was like, as bad as something can be right now, at least music can be there. So I revamped it because of where we're at right now in our economy and it's very music based. I've did over 27 years in radio of on three different stations and I right now I feel like I'm having the time of my life even though we're bad.
Well, I think you're doing pretty good because I've caught a couple of shows and I thought I liked it.
Well, I mean that's the whole point of the show was more of the artistic freedom of artists without having the consumerism and without having um all the isms in
Mhm.
involved with music, knowing that that's my background from the beginning. And I felt like, well, there's people that are like actually artists that are being drowned out. I want to put them on the spotlight versus having the who puts the machine that puts the artists that we're supposed to like.
Mhm.
And there's all these other young kids. And the one thing that I even though I'm 52 years old, I'm not trying to relate to Gen Alpha and Gen Z. I'm not trying to relate to them. My grandson is about to be 11, and I need to keep up with him. And so, even though he might not be interested in what I used to be interested in, I got to learn how to be like, there's kids or there's young adults out there that thought the same way I thought back in 1988, 89. It's just in a different capacity now. So
Mhm.
I'm not the person. And as you know, Pam, we had parents. My mother's from the silent generation where you couldn't listen to nothing but gospel in the house, right?
Right.
So I'm not that person. You know what I'm saying? But I'm kind of shocked how a lot of Gen X people are acting like our parents right now without understanding, without knowledge, without knowing what they're probably going through because we don't care. Because Gen X people don't care.
Mhm.
Generally, we don't care. We always walked around with a chip on our shoulder about stuff. You know, I grew up a latchkey kid, and I never put that on my kid. You know what I'm saying? I never said, "Oh, you got to grow up this way. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this." I never did that. So a lot of people that I've been through, and I broke it down into three categories of Gen X. So Gen X from the 60s that were born in the 60s are different than the Gen X that were born in the 70s. But between 78 and 80, things changed as well. So there's three types of attitudes. I want to consider myself the original because anybody who was born in the 60s all the way up to 68 still have values of baby boomers.
Mhm.
So and rightfully so. My sister's one. You know, my sister's a Gen X early. My brother early. All my brothers early. But me, I'm one of those. I'm the one that everybody talks about. Like, oh, he don't give a damn about nothing. He acts like this and he acts like that. Yes. And so what I tried to teach was it's okay not to care sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to have your own fun. It's okay to be introvert, extrovert. It's okay. There's no rules in this. There's no labels. So we extracted that, in my opinion. So when I came up with recession proof, that's what it was. It was no labels. There was no, oh, you had to like this, and if you didn't, because I already know hip hop, and I'm from the era of hip hop. A matter of fact, hip hop was born the year I was born, 1973. A lot of things happened in 1973. The Vietnam War ended, that we lost. There was all kind of stuff that happened that made my generation this fantastic, right?
Hmm.
And so I took all of that. I took all that. I'm I don't want to call myself a historian, but I do love history. And I love to embody what I learned into what I do in day-to-day living. So when I had created this show, Recession Proof, I was like, we can have a show that we don't have to talk about politics, or we don't have to do this. We don't have to be this, or we don't have to be that. We can just be free and just, if we don't agree with something, that's fine. We can argue and then be friends tomorrow. Because that's what it was, right? That's how it
Hmm.
used to be. So that's where my show came from.
And it's doing rather well.
Thank you.
So, we you interviewed me first, so
I did.
pay
But
payback.
wait, before we do that, I interviewed you because you had some fantastic books, right? And your the way you come across about a lot of stuff, it's very objective, like it's very eye opening.
Hmm.
You get what
Thank
I'm
you.
saying?
I hear
So
you.
even though you're crazy as hell, but I
Oh,
like
me?
just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
I'm not gonna take that personal.
No, 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 no. It's good though. It's a good personal.
So I got a question for you.
Yes.
Because you did something I don't know too many African American people would do.
Okay.
You left DC. Where you at now?
No. So
No?
my
Okay.
parent, no, no, my mother. I look wherever. If I wasn't paying rent, I live wherever the hell my mama told me. And today
Okay,
was my
got
mom.
that.
My mom. Today is my mama's birthday, or was my mama's birthday. So she told me. I cried coming to Texas. I cried, but I made the best out of it, and I lived my best life. Uh, DC is always going to be DC, and I love DC uh, from afar because I think about it in retrospect. I'd probably be 6 feet under right now.
Yeah, we had talked
I
about
mean,
that. Yeah.
I'm being honest.
Mhm.
Living through the '80s, I wouldn't have survived. But
What you
Texas, I love it here.
Okay.
I mean, what's wrong with Texas? Why does every? I think people that's never been to Texas doesn't understand the culture. Like
Well, I
they're
went to Houston, and Houston didn't leave me with much love. But you right there in Houston. I'm sorry.
It's because you. I don't know. You probably tried to do some teenage. You probably tried to do some teenager stuff,
I
And
was doing a book festival, sir.
where'd you go? Where'd you go? They said, "Hey, let's go to 5015." You shouldn't have been there. Now you could have went to
No,
Scott Thurman's Rhythm Room and had listened to some live jazz, or you could have went to Red Rooster with all of us old folks be hanging out having a good time. You probably went and did something that you wasn't supposed to do, and you knew you wasn't supposed to do it, and you said, "Oh, I don't like
I
this."
ain't never
So
coming
don't do
back to
that.
Houston.
Don't. Huh?
That's what. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay.
No, you
I
can't.
hear
You can't judge. You can't judge that off of that. Like that. You can go to Dallas. What's dope about Texas is every city you go to in Texas has its own culture. It's not the same. So what I always tell people is that you can't say Texas. We can say Texas because we live here, but you can't come from out of state coming here talking about, oh, tech. No, it's not like that. So Dallas is more technology orientated, and it moves a little bit different and a little bit faster than Houston, even though Houston's the biggest city. But then you got cities like Austin, which back in the day had like 500,000 people living in there. Now it's like at 6 million. Like it's not even, the city's not even equipped to handle that many people. So many people that were actually from Austin moved to Central Texas, which is out there in or out there in Killeen and all that. Like there's areas that have cultures, and we laugh at Austin because of the fact that all the Californian people moved here, and that's where they moved to, and so that's the mini California. You go to El Paso, it's Hispanic, but you get authentic Mexican food. You go to San Antonio, and I hate that city. I don't know anybody in Houston that likes San Antonio. We're like, nah, we good. We'll go to Louisiana versus. But like I said, you came here on a book signing. You didn't know me because I would have sat up there and said, nah, man, we're gonna go, let's go hang that way. You went that way where people that live here were probably like, nah, we don't mess with that. So that's your fault. That's your fault for not even knowing me then.
So you
It
blaming me,
is.
but that's neither here nor there. So what I'm getting from you is that you like Texas.
I love it here. It's hot. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere, man. And
What places
I'll
have
tell
you
you,
been that didn't receive you as a black man?
nowhere, because I'm six
Okay.
four. Uh, I walk with the energy. I've
Hmm.
never worried. That was one thing I've never in my life worried about. But if you ask me real questions about, like, if I wanted to, I, it's because every decade was different with me. So
Hmm.
there was a decade that I wanted to live in Seattle for the long. I wanted to buy a home, and I should have done it at the time that I could have did it because I'd have got it for man cheap before everybody started moving there. But Seattle was my ultimate place that I wanted to live to in the United States. Second was Maryland. I wanted to live in Hanover,
Hmm.
and I thought that was dope. And then the third place I wanted to live in was, well, here, Houston. So
Hmm.
I was at 50, when I turned 50, I don't want to live in the United States, period. So one year, I just got up and went to Costa Rica. And I just went because I just heard so much about it. I never been there or nothing, so I wanted to go. I only spent 2 days there. I left my phone in the safe in my room. Didn't take no pictures. Just went because I was going through something, and I just went. And what I experienced was something that I never experienced in my life, and I was like, "Well, can I live here?" And then I have another friend. His name is Wu Chang that lives out here in Houston. That was always in Southeast Asia, and all he did was just show me everything about like Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Singapore, and all these places. And I was just looking at it, and I started looking. I met a dude out there, and I did a video. I edited a video. It was called 3 a.m. And I based it all on Singapore because he gave me all this footage about Singapore, and I was like, I want to go there. So now my mind changed to where it's like I don't even want to live in the States. You can't tell me where, like, what's the optimal place in the United States right now in 2026 is nowhere optimal for
Hmm.
Everything else is out of the country. But I'm not talking like on some passport bro stuff. That's a cop out. I need to be where there is black women somewhere, and I can't go to the Middle East, as you know. But you can. I'm not going
No,
there.
I was
I
just
ain't.
saying no, no.
But no, I want to go where there's culture. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Like
Hmm.
I need to be surrounded by culture, even if I have to move to the islands or to the West Indies or something like that. That's more of an option of than moving to a city in the United States right now.
Do you have a plan, or you got
I
it's
work.
on the
I,
list?
no, I'm working on one.
Okay.
I'm so right now I have a short list of 5 places to live,
Hmm.
and there are 5 unusual places like Belize. Belize was on one because I grew up with a girl uh, here in Texas that was from Belize, and my mom's best friend was from Belize, and they were just so nice. They were just so friendly. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like they were just, and I was like, why are they so damn friendly? You know what I'm saying? Like their first language is English, right? They all like us. They look more like you than me. They your color. You know, they kind of a little bright. And then they're just nice. And I was like, I want to go there. I'm planning on going there this year. But that was on my short list. Anywhere in the West Indies, I'm good with. I can go anywhere there out there. If I can make enough money for the next 5 years to buy an island and Bahamas, I'm doing that. That's my ultimate. But realistically, Southeast Asia might be the spot just because of the cost of living. I can
Hmm.
still make American money, and the American money translates very cheap out there. So it's like I'm looking at it in practical and being comfortable at this point.
I could see you doing that. So, would you be able to come back and visit your grandson, or are you just
Oh
going
no,
and
he gonna move out with me. I'm
okay,
waiting for him to turn 18.
okay,
So I got
like 6 years?
yeah 6 7 years to get my stuff
Yeah.
together, and I'd be like, yo, if you ain't playing basketball, football, or something like that, we're gonna come out here and learn something, and then you can like, and I'm same thing with my daughter and the sons. They can do that too, but I need to. I'm trying to base a foundation of self journey first because I did all that. I did everything that I could possibly do to make sure everybody else is straight, at least psychologically,
Hmm.
And I don't even know, is that a word?
Yeah.
But like I do look at psychology a lot, and if your mind ain't right, I just don't. You can't go nowhere. You're not. You're gonna not be able to go nowhere because I'm not a runner. I don't run. I just get tired, and when you get tired, it's like, do you fight or flight? And sometimes it might be easier to just leave the situation versus fight it. Because
Depending
if
on how
you
much
fight
energy you want to put into it.
that part, I don't.
My admin always told me, when we were dealing with kids, she says, "What hill do we want to die on a day?" And some of those hills I don't really feel like dying on.
It took me years to figure that out.
Mhm.
Like, because you always wanted to win that war. You know what I'm saying? And you always wanted to win. You always wanted to be the winner. And it's okay to lose. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to lose if you're looking at a bigger payout. So sometimes it's like, all right, you got this. You got it. And it took me years to figure that out. Like, even from the time me and you talked to now, I had more reflection from then. You get what I'm saying? And that was a short time ago.
Mhm.
And so the thing that only pisses me off is that off of all these years, getting help, getting all this stuff, I feel like I could have figured this stuff out a long time ago. And you don't have to go back and do retrospect all the damn time, but it's like you kind of feel kind of like, God damn, time goes by so fast right now. After I feel like after 50, like one day is a week now. So by the time you wake up the next day, it's Friday, and you're like, God, I didn't even get to do anything. And as I'm starting to notice that, I'm like, okay, it's either I'm in a different universe right now. I went to sleep and I slept heavy, and I'm in a different universe, and my mind is crazy, or time doesn't stop for anybody. So it's like, okay, I gotta get myself together. I want to, I want to, what I want to do is start mapping stuff out the way that I like to map it out, and then execute it now versus all the stuff that I missed. Like I missed a lot trying to fight, trying to make sure that I was right in my marriage. I was trying to always be right. Like it wasn't, none of it was worth it. Like none of it, nothing was worth it. And so it's like at this time, it's just I can sit back now
I get what
and
you're
take it.
saying because at 55, and I know you're gonna shake your head when I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. At
Your baby.
55, the goal was to be retired in
Mhm,
Jamaica.
mhm.
I, like yourself, you was looking for. I was moving to Jamaica. That's where I was gonna be. I ain't there yet.
But you're not even 55. How old are you? I'm not. I'm just messing with.
Every time I say this, people go say, "What?" I am a 1966 baby.
I know. I know, based on our last conversation. That's why I threw the jab that y'all are
I
different.
know. That's why I'm like, I mean, I have a problem saying it because when I tell people, they go,
No, I mean you don't act nothing like it. But what was the reason why you couldn't be? Well, you can explain why you didn't get there. Like, why aren't you there right now?
life. I had some life situations that kept me from getting there. Not to say I
Mhm.
won't get there, but I don't think moving there is an option. I want to say that things happen for a reason because had I been there, I would have been in the situation that they just had the what is it, the tornado, hurricane, whatever
Oh,
that
that
was.
hurricane. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So do you think? Okay. So do you think? See, this is where I think that the disconnect happens with all of us, especially with our generation. We end up like dealing with it, and then we just move on instead of pursuing. And what I'm saying is that you're like, okay, things happen, right? But what stops it from happening? Period. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm learning how to embrace being old. And what I mean by old, old is always going to be a state of mind, but what I mean by old is we're going to age. We're going to age out. And you know, I've met people that were 60, 65, 68, and they look so great. I'm like, God. And they gave me like, oh, as long as I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm all right. Like, because, and you can probably attest to this. Somebody that's your age right now, when you were younger and you saw somebody your age, they looked like they were halfway dead, right? Like
yeah.
for real. And we're nowhere near that right now. And I'm like, okay, so that means we don't have time on our side, but we got time on our side. Like
Mhm.
as long as we're taking care of ourselves and doing what we're supposed to do, actually paying attention to ourselves, actually paying attention to our body, paying attention to when it's saying no, you ain't gotta do that. I think that should be a goal. It should be a goal. Maybe it didn't hit 55, but you might be halfway there and you just don't even know it yet. And you might be like, you know what? It really isn't this hard from the first time I said it. That's how I feel. Like I feel
Mhm.
like that. Like I felt like I wanted to move to Southeast Asia in 2024. That's 2026. But I learned a new profession in the same time. I'm getting licensed for something else in this so I can work overseas.
Mhm.
So maybe God had that plan to say, hey, yeah, I see you wanting to move. I see you getting up wanting to just get out and go somewhere. But wait, you're going to need some life skills real quick to change, just make this transition. So I'm
I
going to
mean,
go
I
ahead
had to
and throw
even
these
map
things
it
at you.
out. It was
Yeah.
to get and see, here's the thing. To get there and stay for 30 days was $2,800 a month.
Mhm.
That was for the month, not a month, but for the month. And that was flight and food for 30 days because I was doing what is it, a rental of a condo that was in an all-inclusive resort.
Yeah.
Additional $300 for that month. You got the coupon or the card, and you could eat down in the place.
Right.
So that was, and I was getting there. So then I thought about it. If that's $2,800 just to get there, flight, yada yada yada, how much is it to stay? To rent a place was $1,400 a month, doable. So I mean, it's doable. It's just like you said, getting everything in line to get there. So you can live there for. I mean, you don't even have to be off property to live because people are like, oh, if you go off the resort, da 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 da. I went off the resort several times. People
Mhm.
are people. People are people.
Right.
I mean, you can't be scared of people. Though the people that
No,
live in
don't ever
Jamaica,
do
they're
that.
people.
And they're
And I
your
mean,
people.
they're great people. So I, but
But that's
fourteen
the whole
hundred
thing.
dollars you
That
can live.
listen, everybody's one people. And growing up, the one thing I learned that when I started in the industry, when I started in the music industry, every city I went to, I never did like visits. I went straight to the hood while we, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
smoked out because that's what I did. That's what I was comfortable with. You get what I'm talking about? I can go to LA, go to South Central, Watts, Compton, you know what I'm saying? Go to Chicago, go to the South Side. At the time, there was Cabrini Greens and Ida B. Wells and stuff like that. New York, be in Brooklyn. Like, that's what I did. And
Right.
there was never a problem with it because everybody recognizes each other. And I'm not in your business. So you ain't gonna hurt me when I'm not trying to be in your business, right?
Right.
Where I was afraid of was corporate America. I was afraid of that. Corporate America is a beast, right? So I was sitting there like, learning how to put a suit and tie on, learning how to move like others that wasn't us was different. It was very different. Me learning how to code switch, and here's the crazy part: my mother raised us to code switch. She
Mhm.
never explained it until I was an adult why she did that. And she said, you needed to grow up as an American. It was already hard enough for all of us what we do. Your grandfather is a Geechee. They don't like them, and this, that, and third. I didn't even know what a Geechee was at the time. And I sat there and I was like, what? I was like, what is a Geechee? Like I was. I was 17. No, I was 20. No, I'm lying. I was 22 years old when I asked. I was like, I don't know what a Geechee is. And so she ran through the whole history of it. This is what's important with younger people. A book and Google's not going to tell you everything. Yeah, it has to be somebody in your family to tell you something, and if they can't answer it, they're going to bring it off to somebody else. So
Mhm.
when I had to go learn about my heritage, I can tell you, fam, I was raised as just an American. Like I had no culture. And when I say no culture, is that I just knew what we knew in front of us. We
Mhm.
didn't know what was behind us. I didn't know. I knew about the Black history that they taught us in the schools at the time. It didn't take me till I was 19, 20 years old to actually learn history and to know where we're at right now. It took me almost a whole lifetime to learn. That's wild. Like it's wild
But that
because
that was the time. That was the time we were in. They just, if you didn't ask, you weren't gonna get any answers. They weren't volunteering no information. Just like, I had all my relatives took a whole bunch of stuff to their grave that I need to know right now, but I'll never know.
they won't tell you, and if they die, they died. You get what I'm
It's
saying?
gone with
Like so, yeah. So you're just like, damn, I got to start over, or I got to start from here, or I got to start from there. Because I'm from a family lineage on my mom's side, or yeah, I'm on dad's side. That is old. It's not 7 or 8 generations. It's only like 4, and the generation starts in the 1800s, and then it keeps moving over. But all these women in my family, my mom's side, live forever. You know what I'm saying? And they had a lot of children, a lot. And so it does cause to ask a whole bunch of questions like, how do I know my great grandfather, but I don't know my grandparents? My great grandfather outlived my grandparents,
hmm
right? So, and I'll show you pictures of me and my papa, and I was so fascinated because he was in a wheelchair. He was old as
hmm
hell, but the fact that he was in a wheelchair, he was rolling around like Xavier, Professor X on the X-Men. I'm like, that's my papa. And I was just so happy. And if you look at the pictures, I'm all on his lap because he had wheels. Like that's how silly it was, but he was so dope to me. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
And he passed away before I had the chance to ask him. So if I had the chance to ask him, oh my goodness, that's like unlocking the cheat code because
Well,
that's
yeah.
the oldest man.
My grandmother died. When she died, she was 108.
Damn.
So yeah.
Did you ever get to talk to her like deep like that? Like, hey, what was it like? Because that's the only question I would ask. What was it like growing up?
For her, I think the biggest thing that it took her probably until maybe 2 years before she died
Uh-huh.
to accept interracial dating. So that was her big thing. That was
Do-
that was her big thing.
But do you know
An
why?
example of that, when I got married, my matron of honor was white and one of my bridesmaids was white. And she looked at me and she said, and I remember to this day, she said, "You don't have any other friends?" I said, "I do, but these are the two that I want, in the wedding." She said, "I need them to make sure that they wash their hair. And I need you to remember that my friends are going to be there. And I want to make sure you don't have any other friends." So she was very adamant about that up until 2 years before she died. And she still wasn't a fan, but it wasn't until she got a great grandson that was of mixed that she was okay with it. Technical difficulties. 99. Not, ooh. Is she still here, Mark? Technical difficulties.
Okay,
I don't
I'm
know what I'm
sorry. I don't know
doing.
what happened. Yeah, I
You
got
just
cut off.
dipped on me. That's all.
No, I didn't. I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, you just
I
dipped on me. That's all.
no, I
It's no
never
reason.
do that. I would never do that. I'm trying to put my stuff. See, I have it on silence. I have it on silent on my phone, and I don't know why I did that. So I apologize. You're good.
Yay, Mark. Oh, I was talking to Mark while you were gone. I was doing an
So
audible.
what were you saying? I'm sorry because it cut off.
Oh, she before she died, I don't know if she was 100%, but she has a great, hold on. She was my grandmother, my son's her great grandson. So her great great grandson is mixed.
Okay.
So that's when, when she saw him, that started to melt what she was, raised around, because she was a domestic person. I don't know what it's called now. She was a maid growing up,
Well,
so that's all she knew.
my grandmother, I don't want to call. See, it's weird when they talk about it, right? Because so my grandmother was born at the end of 1800s, like 1890 something, if I remember correctly. It was way after slavery, because slavery ended legitimately in 1865, and so my grandmother, what?
I disappeared.
Oh, you're here. I see.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing was gone. I was like,
Oh, but my grandmother was my grandmother. The one thing I knew about my grandmother and my grandfather is they grew up during Jim Crow, and so did my mom. My mom was born in the 40s. I think my mom is older than the country of Israel. And see, people would be like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, Israel is not an old. The Israel right now that we see was like 1947, 1948. That country was founded by United States and England. So I'm not going to go into that right now because that's up to you to go look that up. That's not the Israel that you read in the Bible and all that. That's not the same Israel.
mhm.
Anyway, that's why I make the joke because I knew that for years. My mom was like, she would say, "Boy, I'm older than Israel," and I'm like, and I did the same face you made, not realizing it's not the same Israel as that is
Gotcha. Because
biblical.
my grandmother was
Okay,
1913.
yeah, no, it's because yeah, they're
Hmm.
older than the
Israel.
country of Israel. Like,
Israel.
like it's like people. I think the whole political sense of it, people are so retarded about it because I'm like, yo, understand what is being said. That country is not old, and
Hmm.
real like a segue is Israelites is the original man, right? So they don't have a home. They're everywhere. There's no Israel. So that belongs to the Muslims and all that. That's me growing up as a Muslim. So that's
Hmm.
I'm just adding
Yeah,
context to
right.
that. So when my mom used to make that statement, she goes, "My mama used to tell me that," and I was like, "Really?" And I never knew my grandmother because my grandmother died the year I was born,
Hmm.
1973. That's why I call my date of birth like so iconic because I'm like everything happened that year,
That
that
year.
particular year. Didn't happen in 72, didn't happen in 74, it happened and I take advantage of it. I'm the year of the ox, Chinese.
Hmm.
So I'm bullheaded and I talk a lot of smack. I'm left-handed. That right there is already a strike in my life. Because I don't I know you're right-handed, so you won't understand this. But left-handed people, even in the 70s, was taught to have to write with their right hand. I became ambidextrous because nothing growing up catered to a person with a left hand. So our minds are already jacked. And the way that we think is just, so I'm a left-handed Virgo. I was born in September. So I'm a left-handed Virgo that is a Gen X. Like what cocktail is that right now? Like it's like I'm not dateable because I'm confrontational. I
Okay.
learned no, I'm not confrontational now though.
I'm listening.
But I when I looked at retrospect, I'm like, oh my goodness, that was a mess. Because what do you no, my mom is left-handed too, and she used to tell me she used to get slapped in the hand to learn how to write right. I didn't get
Hmm.
that. They would just make it uncomfortable for me. So they would put me with I don't know if you remember I know you remember this. Remember those desks that you had to pull up and then you pull down? Yeah. Well, there was a right-handed and a left-handed one, and they ain't never had no left-handed ones. So I had to. So I write crooked. So I write like this, and so if you ever look at my writing is trash, like trash. It is
Yeah.
trash
Yeah. Okay. I got it. I got it. I got it. Makes
because
sense.
right-handed people don't write. Right-handed people write straight. Left-handed people have to write in a curve. So if the desk, remember the desk was closed, the desk was perfect for you to put your elbow on, not me. So I had to write like this, and I had to put the paper sideways.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you're trying to figure it out because it's not like it's crazy though, right?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah,
No, think about it. Okay, put the desk down. Your arm
because
is right
it's coming
here.
to it's coming right here, so you can
Yes,
write
but when you put it down to right, you're writing like this.
right.
Me, I'm left-handed. There's nothing to put my arm
That
on.
nothing.
I have
Yeah.
I have to write sideways and put the paper sideways to write. That's why my mom was like, "That's okay, baby. One day there'll be technology that you won't have to write again." And god damn it, she was right. Because I don't write. Because I was just at New York Life today doing a deal, and I'm sitting there, and he was like, "Can you write your email address for me?" And blah blah blah. And I'm right, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm 5 years old right now writing
Somebody
my
asked me,
email."
gave me their phone and said, "Hey, put your phone number in there." And I was like, "No, open up your camera." And they're like, "What?" And I said, "Here, scan this." And when they did, all my information came up, and they just hit add the contacts. I said,
Yeah.
"No, no, no, I'm not doing that. No, boo boo. Mm-mm,
What you know what
mm-mm."
I think, and I know a lot of the stuff that you aim at is a mental, and the thing that's so hilarious to me is that what I've learned over the years is, for one, fighting doesn't solve anything.
Mm-mm.
Two, arguing doesn't solve anything. And three, there's always got to be a winner and a loser, and sometimes it's okay to be the loser. Because
I'll take that.
if you're trying to win a war, which is unnecessary, and it goes back to what's going on today. Like sometimes stuff is unnecessary, and you're like, wait, why is this happening? And we're like, I think at our age, I think black men especially at our age really needs to accept defeat. Not in a sense that you're accepting defeat as you're like a punk or anything like that, but sometimes you might be wrong. Your appetite might be just wrong, and it's okay to be wrong. Like I feel like I'm okay with it now. I went through therapy after my marriage and all that stuff, and let me tell you something. I ain't learned a damn thing. But what I did learn, no, I didn't. I didn't. She tried to make me do all kind of stuff that was real female-ish to make me lose my testosterone. I wasn't having that.
Well, see, before you finish that statement, right quick, that was one of the things we talked about a while back. Is that
Hmm.
trying to find your therapist is like dating. You
Yes.
know, you got, and one person said, well, what, like yourself, I walked in, this is my therapist, and they made it work. But if you're not comfortable with that person or don't like the tools that the person is providing you, then you don't need to spend $200 a visit for something that you're not benefiting from.
It worked in the beginning, right?
Hmm.
And then I just started seeing stuff transform, but it's up to you to figure out that transformation that they try, because the whole thing was me learning how to take accountability for my stuff. And
Right.
I'm not ashamed of anything I've ever done. I'm not ashamed now. At a certain time, I might have been. Sometimes I was trying to hide it. Sometimes, but if you ask me, I'm gonna just tell you. And then if it hurts your feelings, it hurts.
Hmm.
But my whole thing was I wasn't trying to hurt nobody's feelings. I was never. My intention was never to hurt nobody. So to take accountability is like, okay, I'm learning how, okay, let me learn how to speak differently. Let me learn how to approach a matter differently where it doesn't offend you as the counterpart. And I'm not even talking just as a woman, I'm talking about
Right.
as anybody.
Hmm.
Sometimes you gotta just be cool. And as long as you're cool, you're good. But what she tried to do is, oh, well, you should eat more soy. Let me tell you something. I have COPD, and there's a medication that I take that they need to inject me with testosterone.
Hmm.
Okay, and I you know I don't have a testosterone problem, but I need high levels of it. Eating soy has a high level of estrogen. It cancels each other out. I had a nutritionist for 5 years that told me this. And so
Hmm.
I asked, I said, why you want me to eat this when my nutritionist is telling me to stay away from it? Oh, he might not know what he's talking. Well, he's a nutritionist. You're a psychiatrist. Two different things. And I was like, I'm not eating that. I hadn't eaten anything soy in my whole life. Let's put it that way. So one of my friends was like, "Oh, well, we can make you a soy dish and this, that, and the third." And I ate it and I hated it. And I was like, nah, this ain't me. And so as it wasn't me, I felt like she was trying to gear me, because then she started her conversation changed to where accountability ended up being fault. And I was like, nah, I fired her. And when I fired her, I was unapologetic about it because I didn't care. Because I was like, no, I understand all the stuff I did wrong. I've understood everything that may be my fault. I'm not narcissistic. I don't have narcissistic ways because I was raised by a woman. There's no way in hell that I have that.
Hmm.
The reason why I'm saying that because I love my daddy. I love my dad. He had narcissistic ways. I don't act like that. You get what I'm saying? I don't act
Yeah.
like men that want to guilt women for every goddamn thing that's ever happened. I don't have that problem. I don't sit up there and do that. So when she made me feel like I was doing that, that's what made me feel crazy. I was like, mm-mm, mm-mm. Even when I met you, you were just having fun. And I was having fun with you. I was like, oh, okay, you gonna do that? Like, I wasn't gonna judge what you was doing. And, hey, you shouldn't do that because this, man, get out of here, grown ass woman. I don't have no problem with that because, like I said, I was raised by a woman, and I didn't like how men that were raised by a two-parent household will sit there and try
And
to down
judge.
people like me
Hmm.
And I'm like, I had a great life, but I know 5 dudes that was had 2 parent household that was great, all were in prison. I ain't never went to prison. I'm not, and I'm a man. Here's the thing: my mom didn't teach me how to fight, but my homeboy down the street did, and I fight dirty. Like I throw dirt in
Oh,
your eyes
see,
and
no,
all that.
he innocent, everybody. He innocent.
I'm just saying, like that when they use that, and that was the people that I was blocking off of social media because I was like,
Mhm,
we all know where the father complex happened. We all
mhm,
knew. Well, our generation knows where it happened and how it was conditioned. We knew that. So I have a different story versus what a millennial or anybody else would say if somebody was born in 1990 or in the 2000s that their daddy wasn't in their life. That's a whole different story than what we grew up on.
mhm.
Because regardless of what the woman raised, she had men in her life, whether it was brothers, uncles, cousins, somebody was there to help raise that child. And they are negating to say that out loud because it's not an actual father per se. But I was
Right,
raised by a gang of men. I had uncles, I had cousins, and my cousins, like I told you, was only like 4 generations deep. They were old enough to
mhm,
be my daddy. So that's I don't have an excuse. I don't have an excuse. If I got in trouble growing up, it was I knew the difference between right and wrong, and I chose
right.
wrong.
We
That's
got it.
it.
Yeah.
Ain't no
You
problem with
know,
it.
you spoke on something which will have to be for our next clearing,
Okay.
but I want to just put it in the back of your mind. You were talking about how mom raised you with your culture behind
Hmm.
you. That's going to be our next one because I want to jump into that one. And
Yo,
I
we
ain't,
we good with
I ain't
that.
staying on here for another 2 hours
No,
for
no,
you.
no, no, no. I got you. I'm following your lead. But that would be a great topic, and you know you got me anytime you need me.
Oh, I'm lining you up for June just like everybody else because
Let's go.
that's my bigger push. Even though we got April and May, and working on June, I'm still doing it. The April and May, but I'm just trying to get June stats.
I love what you're doing. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. I was telling Stephen that was on before is that the DMs and the messages they're they're steady now, so I won't say there's a spike. There's maybe 2 or 3 a day that I get going, "Why are you wasting your time? Why are you doing this? You should be doing something else." It just and I'm like, "Why not? Who else is gonna support them? Why
Well, can I
why is
just
it
say
so much
this?
hate?"
Can I say this? And then we
Sure.
can go. When people have that negativity in their heart, just know that people my age, we don't give a damn either way. Okay. This is to benefit our psyche and yours. If it doesn't help you, if it doesn't help us, there ain't no way you might as well go after a 20-year-old
Because
because
it's like it did it like you said, it's been like this for 3 years. That it's just at one time it just kind of I didn't see anything, and then once the podcast came on, it's always something. I won't say they're at that bullying stage, but each time one comes through, they get a block, of course. But I'm just
yeah,
like, why can't the women see that the men need somebody to support them?
they don't, and it's okay. Again, I'm not against whatever women say
Hmm.
because I don't know what they situation is at the time that they're saying this. However, come on now, we're finally opening up and letting you know what we feel like. Let's engage. That's it.
Like
See,
I
that's
was
how you
fired.
end it. Let's go,
Look,
Pam.
I was fired up on the last one though. I was, ooh. because the guy, he was saying, and then but he was saying that the woman wanted a strong man, but a vulnerable man. But when he
There's
went
no
to
such
talk
thing as
to her,
that.
she kind of, got really funky on him. So he's like, well, I might as well go get me a side chick. So at least I have somebody to listen to me and cuddle with, because he's not getting it at home. And I'm like, this is why I'm sitting here. You guys are coming home. You guys want to talk. You don't want what you're saying thrown back in your face. You just want somebody there to listen to you. And I was fired up. Your girl was bouncing.
Well,
Was
I think that I like. I think that's what my problem is. I like to talk, but I won't talk if you ain't willing to listen. It's pretty easy. If you're not willing to work, and if somebody wants to sit there and go like that, we're going to talk. That's technically it. It's not complicated. It's
Or if you can't listen to you at that moment, say, can I have 10 minutes to finish what I'm working on so I can give you the attention? Or I can listen to you. Unless it's an emergency. I mean, if you're bleeding or something, a limb falling off, I'll stop what I'm doing. But maybe at that particular time, she couldn't. But don't blow it off like you don't care. I mean, if you care, just say, the chicken burning. I gotta go get the chicken. Just or
no,
come in
it's
the
always
kitchen
a
with me.
but see, it goes back to what you're saying. It's a compromise. It's always a compromise because not everybody's gonna stop what they're doing. It's just a compromise. Like most adults would understand that. They will understand. Okay, give me a minute and I'll give you all my time. There's songs about that.
They're
There's
also
actual
adults with a childish
songs about
mind.
I can give you time. Time is like precious. So make it worth it. Oh my God, you don't gotta get me started with that. So
I'm just saying.
yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't at this point that's a fault of characters on both sides not knowing each other. Because you should automatically know, like if you're this way and I'm this way, but it works and we have to figure each other out.
Mhm.
It's the lack of or thereof. That's all it is.
Is we, and this is our da da da, but it's also that he said two halves are gonna have one whole broken. So if you got to come in there heal, or you can't go looking for somebody to help you heal. You need to heal yourself.
No, no, it's always you first. If you can't do anything, and that's me learning the hard way is that I was too busy placing blames and doing this by people not knowing myself. So as
Mhm.
long as you can't know yourself, or as long as it takes you to learn yourself, you're pointless. So
And that,
that is
folks,
true.
look, and that, folks. So, how can they find you and your podcast, your music that you got going on, all
Uh,
that good stuff?
okay, so I'm co-owner of a radio station. Is GBR Global. You can download the app on gbrglobalworldwide.com, or you could just go to your respective, if you're on Android or iPhone, you can just download the app. We have a variety of shows on there. Me myself, I'm on Monday through Wednesday. I gave you my day. I did a pre-recorded show today to be with you. See, that's the narcissism right there, y'all. So I'm gonna give her the guilt trip because you see how that worked? Okay.
But
No,
see, it
no, I'm
didn't work.
just
But anyway, I
it
just
didn't
listen.
work at all. But I'm on Monday through Wednesdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's called Recession Proof and it's based on the freedom of music. So
And just for the record, he's gonna give up a couple more Wednesdays, so we ain't really worried about that.
of course, no, I got Pam all day. Pam is Pam me and Pam became people And if she called me, I'm here. So
The power of TikTok. But anyway,
that's true. That's definitely
yeah,
true.
because they're like, where'd you TikTok people? TikTok.
It's not
Hmm.
that bad of an app if you get the right people on your side.
Yeah, TikTok. That right there. Hmm. Okay, so get ready for June. Um,
Okay.
if you don't book in April or May, that's fine. I get because
Just let me
I know you
know
got.
and I'll do whatever you need me to do. Don't
Well,
worry about
I send it out. Whatever works for you. You know, everybody's welcome. I
it.
just
Okay.
I was shocked. I was shocked in a good way that it filled up twice with a waiting list. So I was shocked in a good way.
That's good.
So
That's great. That's great. That's great.
so
I'm glad that
if
I
I can
finally
jam
got
it up
fit in
like
after
this,
2 months. Well,
nah,
it
if
took
I
me
can
two
jam it up
months,
like
so
this for a while, so I'll be all right.
it took 2 months. So I'm
Yeah, because
finally
I
there.
went oops. Because I was like, I'm supposed to be doing something. What am I supposed to be? I look oops. I missed it. I missed it. But it's okay. You
Oh
know,
my God.
you here now.
Yeah,
We
you're
got you.
terrible.
I know. It's all good. Somebody got to be.
I
Hmm.
heard that.
Okay, my friend. I will talk to you soon. Because you
Yeah,
see,
I'm here.
Diva hadn't even come back. You didn't even get to do no more requests. I gotta,
You
you
haven't. I
know,
haven't seen you on. I haven't seen. Okay, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you in private.
yeah, because I haven't even done any of my little singings. I need to get back
That's
and
what
do
I'm
that too.
saying. So I thought you just was busy. That
I'm
you was
busy.
writing.
I'm busy. I'm
Yeah,
busy. But
I
at
know
some
you
point, I
busy.
just gotta, yeah, I'll pop some more back on there. I
Okay,
got them saved. It's just doing them is just, yeah.
you're good. You're all right.
Well, I'll tag you soon as they come up.
Well, let me know.
I
You're my
will.
friend. You can talk to me.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right. Behave yourself. Ooh, if you can.
Only if you do.
Oh, well, people, you heard that. Neither one of us will. Mm, yeah, that
Girl,
party is
girl,
not going
bye.
to happen. See you, friend.
All right then.
Bye.
Bye bye.